Hello again, HoudiniESQ users. My name is Kevin, and today I'm going to be taking you through some of the invoicing functionality of HoudiniESQ 1.8.1. Many of my support calls have to deal with generating invoices and how to bill your clients. So we're going to go ahead and do a quick rundown of that. I'm going to show you how to generate an invoice from created events. I'm going to show you how to apply payments to previously generated invoices. I'm going to show you how to apply trust fees earned to an invoice, and in addition I'm going to show you how to generate a statement for several different created invoices. So let's go ahead and begin. First step we're going to do is we're going to go to our Matter dashboard, and as you can see I've got a matter set up here called Invoice Matter. It's an appeal type, and we have several different events that are ready for invoicing. Now if we go ahead and click over to the Summary tab, we can take a look at the status of this matter financially from a glance. We have $3,000 that's already been deposited into the trust account for this matter for this client. We have $960 worth of unbilled time that we need to create invoices for, and we have $450 that has already been invoiced out and that we're trying to collect payment on. So we're going to go ahead and rectify these in this video. First step that we're going to do is we're going to take a quick jump over to the Ledgers tab of this matter. Now the Ledgers tab is going to show all inputs and outputs to trust and retainer accounts. First we can see that I have a deposit of $3,000 that I made to trust that was made today. The difference between trust and retainer is that trust is kind of an ongoing account, and retainer is kind of money that's given up front but not necessarily associated with an account. However, in Houdini they're both treated as trust accounts, so there is no logical difference between them. The only difference is actually how you handle them. So we have $3,000 of trust that was deposited, and of course if you want to make a deposit, all you have to do is click the Add button, select the type, retainer or trust account, select the matter it's associated with, invoice matter, select the date, and select deposit type, trust deposit, and then enter the amount. Since we already have money in trust, let's go ahead and add a little bit more here. We're going to add about 1,000. 0% is what we want to auto apply when fees earned. You can always override this value during pre-bill or invoicing. You can also add a bank account number onto it, or a check number, or a credit card number. And let's go ahead and add a quick note on this. Okay. Now as you can see, we've just successfully added an extra $1,000 to the trust account for this matter. Withdrawals. This is where you're going to go to withdraw some money. Let's say the client decided that they wanted to take back that $1,000. So let's go ahead and do a quick withdrawal. Keep in mind any withdrawals that are done that are not the fees earned type will not show up on an invoice. A regular client withdrawal will not show up on the invoice because it is not attached to any events which you have charged the client for. Invoices only keep track of time that you have billed within Houdini, and any payments that are directly applied to that time, and they will only reflect the status of the account at the time of the invoice. So also any payments that are not associated with trust will be shown on the next invoice, and I'll give you a quick demonstration of that in just a moment. So let's go ahead and take back out our $1,000 here, and let's click Save. As you can see, it's not applied to an invoice, so it will not show up on an invoice. As I said, client withdrawals generally will not show up on an invoice unless they are fees earned. We can add expenses from the Ledgers tab. We can also add them from the pre-bill screen, which I will show you in just one moment. Let's go ahead and add an expense. Let's say that we went out to lunch. So let's go ahead and add a meals expense of about $20 and click Save. Let's go ahead and jump over to the invoices section. As you can see, I've already generated an invoice for this matter, so let's go ahead and take a quick look at it. I've invoiced out $450, and this is our invoice right here. It's going to include the firm name, invoice, the name of the client and their address, the invoice number and invoice date, matter ID, the matter reference, and the internal case number. Here we have our $300 worth of services rendered, $150 worth of expenses. Those are both going to be explained in the charge details, and we have not applied a payment to this, so this is still outstanding. So this is basically a general overview of what an invoice looks like in Houdini. Okay. Without further ado, let's go ahead and invoice out our unbilled matters. So we're going to go over to the billing section, and we're going to select pre-bill. Now keep in mind that this section will not be available to people who are not either part of the billing clerk or admin groups, and you can set those up in your organization settings. By default, all solo users are members of both of those groups, so this will be available to you from the get-go. Otherwise, if you do not have access to these sections, contact your administrator. Okay, so let's go ahead and go to the pre-bill section. And as you can see, right here is our invoice matter. These are our events that are waiting to be invoiced out. However, previously I selected them as being exempt for invoicing. And the way I did that was I selected them all, and I click this blue checkbox. Now this will include or exclude an event on an invoice, which is very handy if you have several events but you do not want to put them all on the invoice at the same time. So simply select all these events and let's click the blue checkbox. What that will do is that will toggle the flag on that they will be included in the invoice, and now you can see they've been added to our balance here. This balance is going to show you at a glance for this particular matter how much is being charged from the events or billable time that you've generated, how much is being charged from the expenses. It's also going to show any tax that's applied if you set that up, and you can set that up in the organization settings. It's going to show any trust earned that you've applied. We haven't applied any yet, so this is going to be 0. And it's also going to show a balance forward that came from our previous invoice. So you can see we have that $450 from the other invoice, which is the balance forward. And then it's going to give us a total here. As we can see, we have $3,000 worth of trust that we want to apply to this particular invoice. So let's go ahead and apply that right now. And the way we're going to do that, we're going to go to the trust fees earned, and we're going to apply money from trust to this invoice as fees earned. So let's go ahead and click the add button. Now keep in mind, fees earned withdrawals will show up on the invoice because they're being applied at the time that the invoice is being created. Let's go ahead and apply the exact amount that we have here to this invoice to give it a 0 balance. By default, it's going to apply 100%. So let's go ahead and take that down to $1,430. And then simply click Save. You can also add notes if you want. Alright, as you can see, now we've gone down to a 0 balance because the fees earned is also going to apply to the balance forward from the previous invoice. So this is going to square us up with the client, so to speak. So let's go ahead and generate an invoice. Just simply click the invoice selected matters. It's going to tell us that Houdini has generated the invoice. From here, we can either view or print. This is going to generate a single PDF containing all invoices in the batch process, and the PDFs will open in a new browser tab. We can email and link. You can choose to email it to the main client on this matter. You can also use an email template if you wish, or you can just link only. And what that will do is that will generate the PDF and place it in the Documents tab of the matter. So we want to view and print this invoice. So click Execute, and there it is in our new window. And it's going to show the amount that we've applied from trust and the remaining balance in trust. Okay, let's go ahead and close that up. And let's say I want to review and view that invoice at another time. You can easily do that from the Invoices tab of the matter, but you can also do it from the Invoices menu. So let's go ahead and go there. Let's look for our matter. Okay, here's our invoice matter. Let's go ahead and select it. And as you can see, these are 2 invoices that we have generated. This one had an unpaid balance of $450, which we ended up applying trust to on this invoice. At any time, if you think that the amount that you see here is incorrect, or if the events have changed since you created the invoice, simply click the Recalc button. This will recalculate the invoice that you've selected. So let's click OK just to make sure that it's been correctly calculated, and it has. You can apply a payment to an invoice. You can post a payment from this screen as well. Just clicking the post payment will do an invoice payment. Now keep in mind, this will not show up on the invoice that you're applying it to. It will show up on the next invoice. So let's say I want to go ahead and apply a cash payment for this particular invoice. As you can see, the balance was $450. So let's go ahead and apply that. Let's make a note that it was a cash payment. So let's go ahead and click Save. Now, as you can see, it's gone ahead and applied a $450 payment to the invoice, in addition to the trust deposit that we've made. Now, of course, we do not want to do that, so let's go ahead and get rid of that payment. As you can see, this is going to show up from the transaction screen. Here's our payment, but let's go ahead and delete it. Simply click the Delete Transaction button, verify that you want to delete it, and that will bring our balance back to where it should be. Now let's say we wanted to generate a statement of both of these invoices. We can simply do that by clicking the statement options. So let's go ahead and click the print preview statement. You can also send an email statement as a PDF, and you can link the PDF to the Documents tab of the matter. Let's go ahead and print it out and take a look here. This is going to show the current trust retainer balance, any outstanding that we have for this particular matter. Keep in mind, though, that statements are for the client and not for a particular matter. It will show all matters that are associated with that client. So if we were to go and add this client to another matter that had invoices generated, those would show up as well. That is statements at a glance. You can also generate statements from the matter dashboard, the summary tab. You can also open up the matter itself and generate a statement there. Okay, that is a quick overview of our billing system in Houdini. My name is Kevin once again, and thank you for joining me today.